Hello everybody and welcome live here, BlizzCon day number 1. My name is Jaws, of course, joined by Leg Day as always. We've got USA facing up against France for our first game of the day.
Overwatch 2 has just been announced and we're here at World Cup 4 here in the group stage. It's going to be a banger of a match to start off. We're here in Group A. USA looking to make it past this quarterfinals this time, 5th through 8th. It's been in place 3 years running. And we're going to have to go through South Korea to get a good seed out of this group. They're looking incredibly strong. We've got multiple Overwatch League winners from the San Francisco Shock on their roster.
Yeah, that they do, and that's quite a scary roster to behold. And if you look on the side of France, I mean, you've got a lot of contenders players coming up through as well. People like Leaf, Tech36, Chubbs, FD God as well. A lot of brethren from EU making the trip over to BlizzCon to join some of their more established French players on the team. And it's been quite exciting, honestly, seeing a lot of more contenders players, a lot of tier 2 talent stepping up to the plate. But USA, they've just gone hard in on this one. They're just like, no.
USA's all in, baby.
Yeah, all in, all Overwatch League players. But this is a good chance for people like Leaf and Tech, obviously, to make their name and make their mark at this event and show everybody else what they're all about.
And when you bring out Leaf, you got to think this boy was a classic Doomfist. When no one was really playing Doomfist, he mastered this hero. And this is kind of like Sparkle over a Gauntlet. This is his meta. You bring out a good Doomfist, and you can be very difficult to dissuade off of the meta comp at the moment, which features for Doomfist, features for Reaper, and then you've got the Orisa and the Sigma. Orisa Jaws, over the course of our preliminaries, our most played hero, about 96% occurrence rate of that hero being picked in the composition.
Are you surprised?
Not at all, really. Orisa's very strong.
No one is surprised that double shield's probably going to be played just a little bit. I'm excited to see FT God actually. He's been a bit of a ladder warrior for quite a number of years now. There's a lot of good Lucio players in EU. You're thinking of people like Funny Astro, FD God being one of those as well. But standing up to such big names on the USA roster, I mean, if you just look at them straight up, you go, okay, so who have they got? Well, they've got Season 2 MVP, Sinatra. They also had Corey.
Sinatra.
Yeah, exactly. They also have Corey, who's just been absolutely popping off on Washington Justice. Not the best team performance overall, but Corey, for me, has just been an exceptional driving force to make that team successful.
KSF also being a driving factor in the LA Valiant when they were ailing a little bit towards the start of the season, always putting up a consistent performance. I feel like he's going to be a huge asset to his team. You can have a look at the rosters that are available there. You can see manager Anna Lynn in the middle, recently moved over to the Washington Justice. She's going to be keeping all these players in line. I know they've got a really good practice facility here, Jules. Like we said before, US are all in when it comes to the money, when it comes to the practice, when it comes to the players and the coaching. They've got Aero in the back room as usual.
Yeah, Aero looking pretty good right now. Aero, of course, of Dallas Fuel. Very handsome man, of course. I'm quite scared, though, for France, and I think I would be, if I was people like Soon, obviously, as well. He's been to World Cup numerous times before. So AKM actually walking around a little bit earlier. It was kind of nice to see him. We'll be going on to Control being our first game mode, and we'll be going over to Ilios. Then Numbani, we'll rounding out, well, if it's a 3-0, of course, it is going to be first of 3. We'll go over to, I didn't catch that quite at the last map. I think it was Havana, but there it is.
Probably a Control map. So, I don't know. US, though, going to be rolling out here on Ilios. We're starting on the Ruins Jaws. Usually we have seen a lot of Widowmakers here classically, but I imagine both teams are just going to test the waters right now, come out with the Doomfist, come out with the Reaper, test how their fellows here are going to be playing around these particular compositions. Sinatra, for now, just playing it sneaky, wait for France to make the first move and get a counter-punch potentially onto Leaf.
Oh, Leaf, very little bit too low. Sinatra's going in almost all in there, using all his cooldowns. Normally you want to save one to at least get out of the fight rather fast. Sinatra's going to go in once more, try and get an uppercut on one of the tanks, move them forward down to his level. Manages to pick off Chubbs, but Super's going to fall as well at the hand of Chubbs. Kind of punched him into it, a little bit unfortunate. Sinatra going in once again, just got to kill this Reaper off. At the end of the day, the Reaper is just going to do so much work to the front line. Eventually, Leaf finds his like for like, but France, overwhelming presence on the point. We will have Super coming back momentarily, but Space is just kind of getting mincemeat in the front line. Coalescence from Raucus to try and keep him in. Meteor Strike comes down, but France still more members on the point than US. They need to be able to push on here to contest. If they let this flip over, it's going to be so good for France.
Everyone needs so much healing, but Raucus is all out of juice. Jaws is going to have to suck around to get it back.
Meteor Strike straight on top of the tank. Sinatra with a nice little double kill. FD God and Tech 36 going down. Hardest finds him in the end, but the damage has already been done. What looked like such a good fight for France. The US are going to turn this one around and gain themselves a couple of ults as well for the next fight. They're going to find the point cap, and the issue here going to be for France. I mean, what are you running into? You've got to beat to face up against. You've got Corey as well, who's going to have that Death Blossom coming up, and Flux is available too.
And Jaws, US there, they defend themselves so well. Raucus used the Coalescence to zone out France from really finishing off anyone who was on the point, and Moth was able to avoid for long enough. France, they ran out of steam, come back, use the Halt, use the Meteor Strike, getting the double kill.
Flux coming in, there's the Halt as well. Leaf is in a little bit of trouble, does manage to get out of there, or at least try to, as Sinatra finds him so easy. Everybody's funneling through that that small choke point where the Mega is. There's not really any chance for you to escape. FD Gold was so close to the B, but it didn't matter in the end. I guess at least they saved ult in this instance, Harry. But USA, they only needed one to win that fight.
And they did. Going to be seeing a little bit of an aggressive hold here, but Sinatra's going to think better of it. Doesn't want to go that deep into the enemy spawn when France have so many ultimates to try and shut him down. It's going to be a tale of two superchargers here, Jaws, but who's going to be better at using the Coalescence to break that down through the shields, penetrate those barriers, get rid of the additional damage, as well as heal up everyone.
Death Blossom in the back. Corey gets instantly deleted by FD Gold, but he takes one with him. Hardest is going to fall once again, and USA continue to hold the point. Coalescence from hip to try and sustain them through, but he was on such a weird angle there where he kind of needed it to bend round the wall to actually help out FD God and the rest of his team, and he just got bullied away by Moth. Of course, you can boot the Coalescence away, just make it basically ineffective. France have got a lot of ults coming up for this next fight, but it could be their last. We're looking 75% for the US now.
Question is, how's FD God going to use a sound barrier? Doesn't have to worry so much about a gravitic flux for the next couple of moments, but space is so quickly generating it, he cannot be forced to use it early on the
Chubb's
ground.
going pretty low, Harry. This is going to be a bit of an issue. No more shift either. Corey is going to go down eventually. USA, they don't really need to throw everything into this fight. They know France have to expend a whole bunch as they are nearing 95%. Teleporting the back to Hardest. He's got the Death Blossom, doesn't want to use it just yet. Knows the fight is basically won. And France will control the point for the first time in the series as the US do back off. They've got that Flux, though, to come in for the next fight. FD God no way near that beat.
Yeah, US is happy here. They still have that Flux. We talked about how it was going to interact with the sound barrier. FD God's used that. Now it's going to be super hard for France to survive through the onslaught that space can provide. The question is, do the US take this fight, or do they wait for another
There's
one?
the Flux. Seems like an easy opportunity to me. I mean, like you said, FD God got no beat. Super does go down, though. They trade 1-for-1, but no healing really available for France now. They're going to have to rally around FD God, but he is instantly taken out by Sinatra. This is going to be it. The US are now steamrolling onto the point. France have got about 30%, but they're going to need to touch somehow. Maybe a wrecking ball to stall for some additional time. Chubb's going on the big long flank to get OT, but it's not going to be enough. One by one. France are going to trickle in, but this looks like the USA's map.
Hardest has a Death Blossom. Very unlikely it's going to be able to clutch it out, but it's better than nothing, Jaws. He's going to be looking for that Lucio right now.
He's going to have to do it. You might as well. The game's going to be over if you don't. Oh, that instantly taken down. Anyway. A bit unlucky. Super just fires through the shield. Insta clicks on his head. Tech 36 is going to fall as well. Emergency Reinhardt from Chubbs. Ain't going to happen. USA, they're going to take Ruins.
A lot of time on the late night talk shows, Jaws. For Sinatra, evidently didn't dull his skill. He's been grinding still hard on this Doomfist. Looks like he and Leaf are kind of trading more in Sinatra's favor right now. Leaf's getting more counter punches, I feel, but Sinatra just focusing on the remainder of the France roster, and he's getting consistent picks. But right now, Chubbs and Super kind of going even. There's a lot of support right now for Chubbs, so he can go toe-to-toe with the Overwatch League winning main tank. And France here, I wonder if they're going to bring out a different strategy, or if they're going to continue to try and press on this Reaper and Doomfist to see if they can create any cracks in the US's strategy. Obviously, the US has come out swinging. They know exactly how they want to play this. Maybe France a little bit more tepid. They're here to learn, here to download that information, and then augment their strategy accordingly.
Teleport forward for the US to get a bit of extra space. Martha, yeah, left someone behind, mate. You've got to attack everybody. They're going to take this small health pack room for the time being. France taking the high ground here. It's not going to mean all too much, to be honest. Like a slightly better angle, but the US have a rather far foot forward. I mean, you can see them pushing. As soon as Moth sees someone going around the sides, he's going to want to be able to either boot them away or boot them into the pit. Leaf is going to trade with Corey. A beautiful punch. But he teleports back up. What the? Okay, Sinatra didn't think that happened either. All right, okay. I can't be blamed for miscalling that one. It's good. USA, though, just kind of demolishing France right now. Chubb's losing his life, of course, rather early on in these fights. Just means there's only the Sigma shield to really play around, and that isn't going to be too much for Corey to deal with.
Jaws, France needs a better calling structure. Leaf and Sinatra got that mutual stun, both punching into each other. He was in the midst of Team France, but he didn't die. Somehow Leaf was the one to fall in that scenario. They need to know that when Leaf gets that punch, you've got to take out Sinatra, get rid of the Doomfist, Moff's ready to boot people off, disrupt the plans, disrupt the plan of action.
He's
and
going
make
in,
sure they're not
he's
going
speeding
anywhere.
up. There's the Hulk, doesn't quite find the punch, decides to back off for now, doesn't want to lose his lives too early. Leaf and Sinatra end up trading as Corey's in the back line, having to use the Wraithport to get away. Super this time is the first Orisa to fall. A teleport from the Reaper isn't going to find too much just yet. He's going to have the high ground, but is it actually going to be worth it in the end? Space goes up with the Flux, finds 2, and that should be it. US is going to push France back once again.
Moff has no fear as a Lucio, man. And Sinatra's going to be exactly the same. At this point, France's support's kind of just getting staggered out. Will you be able to escape? Not today, Leaf. And now this means United States are going to be able to move up all the way to about 60%, and they're still holding so aggressively. They're going to get rid of Tech 36. He's not going to be up until 60%. Sinatra's going to be able to get back much quicker, but US can no longer afford to hold aggressively without this Doomfist. Instead, it's all about distraction. Let Corey come in from a back with the Death Blossom.
Nice little supercharger take up by Corey. Hardest does manage to find Moth, and Super goes down as well, but we're in the same situation really that we were in last map. A little bit less percentage for the US, but they're going to be able to stall out for a little bit longer. Leaf does end up going down. It's not the worst pick in the world. They can definitely stall out for extra time here. In fact, a beat coming in from Moth, and it's actually going to return beat from FT God. They've got to be careful now. Tech 36 and Space are so close to their ults. France are going to have to play this round almost perfectly. Space going pretty low. That's the person you want to pressure out in the end. Tech does use the Flux, but is he going to be able to find anything? I don't think he is. And now he's separated from the rest of his team. He can't use that accretion. He can't use the grasp to stop all that damage coming through from Corey as he ends FD God's life. And US are still fighting on the point, and Super's going to come back. Space is here too. A double accretion kill, and the US didn't even give up that point. France killed 5 of them, and they don't get pushed off at all.
France here, they need to target call a little bit better, George. They had the advantage. They can't find a single target. Hardest gets taken out. Now you've lost so much teeth in your assault.
Sinatra's going to come back, man, and now it's all up to the stall. This ain't going to work. Chubbs managed to find Moth's kill, but hang on a second, that might just do it. Leaf's going to punch Sinatra into the wall, but now Super on the ball, looking for those knockoffs, but the problem is he's already going to get checked by Leaf. Man advantage for France now as they do end up flipping the point, but still, the fight for US is looking rather promising as Super's nearing his mines.
Flip does come through. US can win this map if they win but one fight, Jaws. They can just stall out, build themselves up an ult economy while France is forced to invest.
Hardest gets booped away as he does use that ult impact punch into the wall to cancel it as well. Hib now pressuring with the Coalescence, forcing Space into that small room there with the minis. Going to be too helpful for the US as they lose their main tank. Meteor Strike comes down as well. Sinatra doesn't really seem too bothered about the encroaching forces of France. Has managed to get out alive, and US do make a nice rotation onto the point, chunking people out with a Cole, and Raucus doing so much work. You can see how scared France are playing now. At that point where you don't have a Coalescence in your back, when when Raucus throwing his out as well, is almost unwinnable. Sinatra finds 2 in Leaf and Hardest though, as the US is still fighting on this point. Space now setting up super well at the back, and he's so healthy as well, can duel out so effectively for anybody that wants to dive him. Speaking of dives, that's exactly what's going to happen. FD God trying to find the boops into the well, but it's not going to happen just yet, as the US once again regain control. OT ticking down, looking to take this map 2-0 if they can just force away Hardest. The Reaper's going to go into Wraith form, the beat's going to come through, more desperation than anything, and now the slow trickling members of France getting back onto the point, but the US have got the answers they need.
US had no business winning that fight, Jaws, but Moth and Sinatra, you can tell they come from the same team. These guys operate as a unit, a single brain between the two. United States going to claim Ilios in our first map here in Group A, the first match of our group stage.
Feeling pretty good if you're US right now, and like you said, there's a whole bunch of experience on that roster, and a relatively, relatively new experience, especially people like FD God, who haven't been around contenders a whole bunch. I mean, even Tech, Chubbs, Leaf, Tech 36, like, these are players that have been around the scene a long time, but not been playing at that Overwatch League level. USA brought out the big guns, and are 1-0 up so far. I have to see if they want to, like, mirror into this again, because it really just feels like Space has Tech's number, like, every single corner he turns.
Absolutely so, and you need to wonder about the depth that is present on France's roster, especially when you're playing Leaf, who is known to be this great Doomfist in a Doomfist meta. Are you going to be willing to give that away to try and flex onto USA, or are you going to be going back towards Coach Roth, try and figure out how you need to play around this dual dive from Moffs, Lucio, and Sinatra on this Doomfist? The way these guys are operating as a unit and sort of leaving Raucus a little bit more alone, just concentrating on making sure that Moff always has like a wall ride path back to go and support his fellow support if he needs to. You've got to try and think of a way to either bait Moth in by doing a little bit of damage to Raucus, or to take advantage of how the two of those guys are going to dive together.
Well, I mentioned it in Ruins, but it was really cool the way to it was really cool to see Moth just pay attention so heavily to Hip, and when he's using that Coalescence, boop him out the way, boop him into the rest of the team, because when you're using the Coal at the end of the day, you're not invincible, but your health regens at quite a significant rate, plus your mobility is obviously increased as well, but the problem is you can't use the Fade. And you're going to play more aggressively there, and, well, Moth was paying attention to him. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, and just booping him away from the team and into his team, easy peasy, Cole goes down, and hey, not only is the Coalescence dead and long gone, so's your main source of healing as well.
I'm also super impressed that Super seems very, very keen to just play the Wrecking Ball whenever he gets the chance. He's doing good jobs of it, especially when he's supporting Sinatra, because people are very telegraphed where they're going to be when you hit that pile drive. When they're coming back down, that's when you can charge up that punch. There's very little they can do. They're just going to land in front of you, and if you're in front of a wall, you're about to get that instant kill. The synergy between these three is the backbone of Team USA, and it's going to be very hard pressed for any team at this competition, even South Korea, to break the synergy between Super, Sinatra, and Moth.
I don't know about that, man. You know, Korea's got somewhat of a good record, you could say, here at BlizzCon, here at World Cup.
They've got a pretty good record, but these guys have a pretty good record as well as Overwatch League champions.
Yeah, well, you know,
only a single golden stage, you know.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. US gonna. Oh, I'm not gonna say it, but you know, Harry, they don't want to disappoint in front of their home crowd at the end of the day, right?
They don't want to go 5 to 8th again. Or 5th, not 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Yeah, exactly. 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Well, some people want to have faith. A lot of people do have faith in the USA.
Hybrid is going to be our next game type. Numbani is the map. I want to see, we didn't see it yesterday, I want to see Torb. My Torb, by the way, is pretty sick on this map, just saying. Place that turret behind Orisa's shield, and hey, do you know what's really good with Orisa's shield?
Auto aim?
No, Sigma shield.
Oh.
Yeah. Funny that.
Also auto aim.
Also auto aim, yeah. My Torb's pretty sick, not gonna lie. I was kind of, that's why, one of the reasons why I was hoping Germany would make it through, is so that we could see Engineer actually play Torb.
I wonder if we'll be seeing the defensive Ana, which can often be shown here on Numbani, because you get that back high ground, and because it's one of those areas which is equidistant for both attackers and defenders, you can often have the attempts to trade out that you can win, and hitting a good biotic grenade, as we saw yesterday in preliminaries, can be the be-all and end-all. And when people are coming up to assault the high ground, they're going to move through that corridor. There's a big old corner behind them. You can splash a biotic grenade off that. If they're not shielding properly, and it takes a lot of mental bandwidth to be able to shield it properly, they will very easily all get splashed. And then guess what? You're just going to roll on in with the Doomfist, going for a seismic slam. They're not going to be able to heal that up. You're going to be getting those kills.
It's free damage. Free real estate. Ana's one of the best, yeah, like you said, I agree. I think Ana's one of the best heroes on this map in terms of defensive heroes and defensive healers. Like, Moira's okay, but if you're holding across the ledge, you can't really use your normal left click to impact really anything. You have to use Orb, or you're like with the other with your other teammates on the other ledge. And the issue is, then you can't go back. It's not as easy.
Yeah. It's very hard to cross heal.
Yeah, the range from Ana just really helps these kind of defensives work. Of course, you can run a Pharah too, and Mercy's also pretty damn good. She can fly from different sides of the map, and then of course you'll be up in the skies more often than not anyway. Right, let's get into the game though. France, going to go with Bastion defense. No too much of a surprise there. And Baptiste, of course, too. Why am I forgetting about Baptiste? Of course, can right-click across the ledge as well. A little bit better more often than not as well, Baptiste. He has just ridiculous healing, especially when you just right-click somebody and then just shift people as well. Like, it's absurd. That's why he's so good with the Bastion. Obviously, not only that, but the Immortality field too. In fact, it feels like Baptiste was just made for Bastion.
Yeah, in a certain way. The only real disadvantage that FD God would have on the Baptiste on this particular map is that there is a throw and activation time to the Immortality field. If you're trying to get it across the gap, you've got to frisbee it on over, and it may take a while. You'll have to try and use it preemptively. The United States, Jaws, they're going for the Bastion offense. Everyone wants to bring out the minigun today, but Sinatra has the counter to the Bastion with the May. He can just wall up Soon, and if Soon isn't moving appropriately, we could see a wall and a sleep dart.
And so it begins. Big accretion. That's a lot of damage. In fact, Chubbs actually falls off the edge of that. No more permanent shield now for France. They've got to be careful when Tech 36 is frozen up as well. Immortality field was already used, and that's going to go down momentarily. There you go. See you later soon, Corey, Space, and the rest of the US. Just going to steamroll their way onto the first point. And they got Ana at their backs too. It's not even a mercy for this big res. Of course, France have taken that because Leaf is on Farah, but I can imagine he's going to change, seeing hit being changed as well. No, okay, so actually just going to go for the straight mirror. Problem is, ult charge way in favor of US.
Sure, so one of the most important things that happened there is that Sinatra went for the vertical wall, just keeping those pillars stacked away from him, so that if Soon wanted to get off that wall, he either had to go to the left or the right, where his healers wouldn't be able to access him, or he'd have to walk all the way back and have more time in the sightline. You can see right now, they're deploying all of these assets from the Baptiste. Forces France to give up this space. They can get around this first corner, which is incredibly defensible, especially when you got this.
Whoa, Soon went a little bit too far forward there, and that bio grenade as well. Yes, see you later, Tech. It's just how they're going to win these fights, right? I mean, at the end of the day, because you have such a massive ult advantage as the attackers, and if you win the first fight, France having to change, of course, as well. Look at Raucus versus Hip ult charge. Moth and FD God both used their their amp matrixes fairly early on in that fight, but because FD God used his later, Moth is 50% now, and US are going to be set up on the high ground permanently. France, this seems impossible for them now to get onto this point, honestly.
Yeah, this setup seems inassailable, especially when you need to continue to touch this point. So not just kind of joking with him at the moment. Let that cart slide off for a second, and now what are you going to do? Nano!
Nano straight onto the wall. They're using the walls pretty well, though, to just obscure vision and rotate around. Chubb's got bio grenade, but he's not with the rest of his team. He can throw a shield, but it'll be a bit of an awkward one. Now he's negative HP almost. Leaf is going to go down, and that should just be it. USA just steamrolling over France currently.
Now they are 5 minutes and 40 seconds of a time bank, Jules. On Numbani, what are these numbers that I'm currently giving you? Don't make sense to me. Soon's actually caught out. He could be staggered very terribly here. Space gets hit with a Barnade, though. Force him to back away. Great play there from Hip, saving Soon. This was a clutch play that France needed, but now they need to dig in their heels, Jules. They need some stability, because the US, they're on track for a 4-minute 30 time bank on Numbani. And what are they going to be able to do to defend themselves against this Blizzard and the Gravitic Flux?
Not much. There's the Blizzard. Tech 36 frozen solid. Same as soon, who used the ult, and easy peasy for Raucus. Just throws the nade in. Nothing to defend them.
5 minutes.
This is a 5-minute and 3-second time bank.
I've never seen that in my life.
That's the 111. I think that's actually the one. Mate, no, actually, it's the 110.
That's an Overwatch 2 time bank right there.
It's the 110. It's the 110. We're seeing it here. First series. We've already breached the 110. 5 minutes and 3 seconds to defend for France. Of course, if they go to the next round. But my goodness, I want to see if that's a record. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to be honest. I don't know.
Where's Captain Planet? Like, we'll text him after this and be like, well, we need some confirmation. Is this the fastest Numbani that has ever happened? So I'm pretty sure France didn't even really touch the cart. They didn't win a fight. And when faced with this advanced strategy from the side of the US and how well we see Raucus and Moth synergizing, and we haven't really mentioned Raucus that much, but Raucus has had some woes. There's been a fair amount of community ire directed towards him, undeservedly, I would say, because of Outlaw's poor performance, even though they had a couple of organizational troubles, and previous performances by Team USA. He and Moth, though, under the tutelage, under the command of Aero, they look like a synergized unit, just like so many parts of the United States. All these cogs coming together, the synergy is undeniable. And France is going to have to dig in deep to find something to even win a fight against the United States, it seems, on Numbani.
They're going with the same setup. Or not quite even, sorry. France are going to run out with no Farah. They're just going to stick Leaf and Hip on the Mei and Ana respectively. They don't want to mess around. Again, we spoke about it before, but the odds advantage as soon as you win and then having to change, or as soon as you lose the point, sorry, and then having to change is so damaging to your ult economy. France making a big flank here, though. Yeah,
making the other rotation, Jaws. What angle are they going to take? You can see Corey's actually poked up a lot more safely than Soon was. Soon's already dead. They went for a wall into the sleep, got Corey down, but already they've lost their main point of damage.
Their only damage,
yeah,
really.
If they'd done that quicker, that would have been a great play coming through from France, but Soon peeked out a little bit too far. The shields weren't enough to keep him safe, and now Hip could be in big trouble. No, he will actually be able to get out safely. He and Leaf around in the back, though, this separate unit. It's going to take a long time for Hip to build up this nano boost when he's only able to heal a Mei.
Bit of an awkward situation too. He is going to spot Sinatra on the other side. And to yeah, well, I was about to say, the only way you're going to be able to heal yourself is your own nade, but, you know, he just dies to Rox's nade, so kind of feels bad for him. And even more of a stagger here. You can see Sinatra and Leaf having a little 1v1. But Sinatra's got all the backup in the world, and the rest of the US don't really need to care about what Sinatra's doing as long as he just pushes Leaf away and he's not with his team. It's going to be more than okay. Another big bio grenade lands onto France, halting their aggression so far. And how do you assault this at this point? Sinatra has Leaf on the back foot, just way behind enemy lines.
And France don't have anything to do with it.
And he kills him off, Harry. Look.
Look at the difference, Jaws, in the ult charge. Tech 36 is 30%. Space has this gravitic flux ready. This is unprecedented disparity in the generation of his first ultimate, and France won't have anything to deal with Space when he puts this down on the ground. They don't have the sound barrier. They're going to have to rely on FD God's Immortality Field, but that can be easily picked off by Space using his Hyperspheres. And they've already put down the amplification matrix. Just come in.
Oh,
say
there's
hello.
another amp matrix. Oh, Chubbs! Oh, no, Chubbs. Oh, he got launched up into the air, and Corey just demolished him. I said we'll sleep on the exit there, but look at this time bank now. 1 minute and 50 seconds. US have so many ults online, and France, because they haven't really been in fights, they've got Tech 36 on 45%.
Yeah,
it's not looking great.
Tech hasn't been able to do any damage. Everyone's hiding behind shields or just not in an area where he can assail them with the Hyperspheres. Leaf has the Blizzard ready to go, but how are you going to try and capitalize on this? Are you going to throw it up towards them? At that point, it's probably easy to eat or easy to avoid, or even if it does freeze people, there are still going to be all these shields up.
Beautiful hold by Chubbs. The Blizzard's going to come out, though, and land on top of them, and there you go, another big bio grenade. It might not even matter that Space got pulled off the high ground. Soon pops the tank once more, but actually gets kind of owned by... Wait, what? He gets kind of owned by Leaf. A wall placed in front of him, and Corey just sayonara
That's
from the high ground.
actually a dunk from the high ground. Tank on tank action right there. Corey's in a little bit of trouble. France can bring us back.
Yeah, Corey actually went a little bit too aggressive there. He was nanoed, but, you know, weared off in the end. Moth is going to find a couple of kills of his own, though, killing off Leaf in Tech 36. Spawn advantage, though, is not really in favor of either team. Numbani spawn defense is so close to the point, it might not even matter that Corey went down.
And they've got time jaws. France haven't captured anything of this point yet, so Space just making Space, as his name would suggest, well, everyone just comes back.
No.
Here's Super, and Raucus is back. He's going to put in a lot of healing.
And there's the free flux from Space. He's going to be able to play around the corner. This pushes over, and honestly, this might be France's map over as well. We're now 25 seconds before... they're even 25 seconds, before USA just complete. This is it. This is their final push, and Tech 36 only has one ult.
This can very much be their final push. Look at how aggressively Corey's holding. Does not have time right now. Cannot be bothered to go back up to the high ground. France coming in with a Reinhardt. They just want to charge on through. They've got to force Super to use his Fortify. Otherwise, Chubbs is going to be so well stymied here.
Window in the corner, though, Corey. Just almost demolishing Soon. Very well timed. Immortality field coming through from FD Gold, but it didn't matter. Look at that bio grenade. Look at the damage coming out from Corey. It's already over. He's like 2 HP, but it doesn't matter. OT ticks through. And USA are going to take the map. And they got match point as well now.
Match point for USA. They're looking so dominant, Jaws. France yet to take a point here at the Overwatch World Cup group stage. USA, the hometown heroes here in Anaheim, California. There's a lot of support for the boys who want to do it this year. 4th time lucky. Could it be?
Could it be? Chat, do you agree? Is this USA's time? Are they actually going to make it, Harry?
Is this a big K-Kona
Or
moment?
are they going to lose to Korea again? Well, you know, only one way to find out, but I think we'll have to wait and see. Now, France are definitely on the back foot at this point, and we spoke a little bit about this at the start of the series, how there's a lot of new faces here in terms of, like, Tier 1. There's a lot of contenders players on the roster wanting to make a big name for themselves and want to make a big impression here to not only show off to the world what they can do, but to Overwatch League scouts as well.
Absolutely, like FD got it. Not going to be a name that a lot of people watching will know. He came from EU contenders. Not the most successful player in terms of the teams that he's been on, but he's always been a shining star on those that he has shown his face around. Tech 36, we used to know him as the Grav Eater. This man has such good defense matrix skills on the Diva. In GOAT's meta, if you're Rosario with a Graviton, you might as well not have that when you're going up against Tech 36, but this is a different meta, bro. This is where we're playing the Sigma right now. Sigma, he's being so well stymied by the USA when we saw 30% of the gravitic flux. Space already having his. Like, the degree to which France are unable to make sure that Space's Sigma is contained is not great for them.
Well, they did it one time. Like, they pulled Space off the high ground and did manage to kill him off.
That should have been every single time.
However, you got to think about it this way too. If you're on the defense, especially if you're someone like the Sigma, those hyperspheres, they not only do a ton of damage, they bounce off walls too and then explode.
It's a skill shot, boys.
And when you're up on that high ground, you can just continually bounce them off the wall over and over again. So it is obviously a massive ult disparity, yes, but in the same vein, Space is of course going to build more ult charge rather quickly, not because his team's winning the fight, but because you're at such a disadvantageous angle if you are tech. Like, you can kind of throw them up from an angle, maybe, but like at distance, so it, like they kind of explode in midair. But the problem is the Bastion's so far away, and everybody's so far away in the hunker down on the in the top right, with the healers and behind the Arista shield, that one, you're not going to hit them, and then Space is on the side, and you're going to get a little bit of ult charge from him. Space is hitting 5 to 6 people with those hyper spears every single time he hits left click.
And also, Tech, he has to be focusing his shield because Chubbs is breaking down. Like, there's a Bastion that's just firing directly into that. He can't direct that shield to try and stymie Space's damage. He just does not have the bandwidth to be able to do that.
Let's jump over to Escort being our next game type.
We're all out of assault today. We're waiting for push, boys.
Yeah. Wish we could play push.
I want to play push. Like, I don't know if it's in the demo over there or if it's just for PvE.
No, it was in the demo.
Really?
Papa Jeff said it was in the demo.
You and I will roll in later. Right, well,
I'm not playing with you. I'm one-tricking Widow in there.
No, I'm playing against you. Just going to farm you on Winston. Mr. Widow one trick. I'm
not that. No. I'm more of a 2-trick on DPS.
Widow Torb, baby.
Widow. Oh no, actually, I was going to say Torb, so maybe a 3-trick. My Hanzo's pretty sick too. I'm just saying. France on the ropes. USA looking to take this 3-0. I gotta say, especially when it comes to these big live events too, there's a lot that can go wrong, but it's not like contenders, especially in EU, where Leaf, Chubbs, Tech36, FD, God, etc., where they're at home and they can't be with their fellow teammates in the same venue. Morning Stars, however, of course, did have their own team house, but being all together can really just help not only like solidify a mental, but if you're down and looking to be out, it can really help you just turn around your team and say, hey, look, we're doing this wrong. We need to fix this. We need to rally around, X, Y, or Z person.
I love this play to get aggressive here. France just want to give the US a sucker punch. They need to create some kind of dominance, create one fight from which to try and snowball off, even if they lose for once thereafter. Leafs up in the sky on this Farah. They're going for the hole. Will they get the accretion? No, they won't, but they're going for a hack on Soon.
Yeah, Soon's hacked, and look at this. Chubbs is just getting bullied in the front line. Immortality Field used so early as well for France, and they're in a big trouble now. Space going to have a lot of extra additional shielding from that. Couldn't quite make it down the stairs, ended up tripping. Probably should wear a pair of sandals.
Sinatria needs to be checked. He can go for this hack. Get rid of Civ. They've actually put a shield behind him. That's perfect play there from Tech36. Exactly what we want to see. Get rid of the win conditions of the United States. They need to hack this Bastion to be able to win out here. Corey can get an assassination, but he's been found out. Going to have to invest for Wraith Walk and get away.
Yeah, he's so low as well.
Just walk
he's
away.
He's going to have to go back to the rest of his team. His needs healing, though. Someone please heal him. There we go.
Eventually that way too far there.
Corey's now going to be able to push back up. They're once again trying to take this far out of midair, but now Hip's not even with Leaf. He had to go back to the rest of his team. The accretion is going to miss, but it doesn't matter. That coalescence just shredding through the shields. And that should be France getting one more defense just before this first point, if they can touch, of course. There is 3 people on the payload for USA right now. Or 2 even, sorry.
That was all about Chubbs being out a little bit too far. He got overrun by the US, had to invest his fortifying. That means that Hip has to come over and try heal him up. Not available for Leaf. He can be taken out by the sustained fire of the US as Raucus is on this Ana. Nowhere near to that nano boost though, and Soon's already down.
Oh my goodness.
FD got 2.
Soon got destroyed.
The ult is just too good. Everyone just grabbed out of that window and executed. Now, US building up a time bank, not quite as good as their one before. We're not going to be looking at a 5-minute and 3-second time bank on Barney, that much is for certain, but we are going to be looking at a nice accretion across the map. Hip's almost got his Valkyrie. What's he going to do with it? Likely going to be using it to damage boost this barrage or give additional healing. It does up the healing per second of Mercy. May not be enough, though, to save Leaf.
Leaf setting up for a barrage. He is going to get stunned, but he should be okay. Nice little flank here coming through from Chubbs, but he does manage to take out Super. Luckily enough, stays alive. Immortality Field once again helping him out. Leaf's going to take out Corey as well. France win the first fight on Havana, their first fight on Havana, but doesn't really matter too much. I mean, USA can kind of push their way in here. There is a sleep onto Leaf. Double shield though, Harry. Should be okay.
Question, but because that double shield was there, Jules,
Oof,
they don't
that
have it to
nade.
defend soon. Look at how far up Chubbs is now. He had to go down and defend Leaf. There's going to be a single shield for this Bastion, which can be easily broken through.
Leaf looking for an entry rate. They spot him out almost instantly. Teleport's coming through from Corey as well. He's going to go on the gap. Bannisters. Oh no. FD got two shot. Everybody's going to receive the beat, and now Leaf just trying to chunk people out with a barrage, but it does negative damage. There's no way you're going to be able to get through that beat coming out from Moth. Chubbs is going to get naded. This is going to be France's defense getting, wilting once again. And now USA can set up so easily. They can hide around these corners. Sinatra and Corey, perfect tag team here. Can use that Blizzard if needed, then use the Death Blossom as well, right on top of everybody who's frozen up.
Absolutely. And you may well look here to see US try and force out Tech 36 in this kinetic grasp. He can mitigate both of these ultimates, especially that Death Blossom. If you can force that out early, it's going to be absolutely deadly.
Oh, Corey. All right, okay. He almost three-shot the Bastion, but
Nice
he's okay.
bubble.
There's the Flux. Moth ends up going down, but it doesn't matter because right in the back line is space. Big fire grenade landed too, but it does eventually fade away. Right around the shield there. Chubbs instantly gets destroyed. I didn't think he expected that at all. The smallest gap in the history of gaps ends up being his downfall. A nice little bio grenade on top of France's nade. Oh, hip. Oh, it's disaster. He was like, it's okay, guys. You got bio grenade on you, dude. It's cool. You got increased healing, bro. And then Rox is like, well, not really. You're all purple now. It's unlucky. Like, you're in a situation again where US can set up so well around that backboard that Sinatra and Corey just get free space.
Absolutely true. There is a saving grace for France. They do have ready to go this Gravitic Flux, dude. But what are they going to do? In terms of targeting, you're going to go after Corey here, you're going to have to go after Raucus. If you can catch those two together, it's going to be very difficult for them to escape that Gravitic Flux. There's no Sandbar here to try and defend them. Maybe Leaf can pick them out of the air with some Icicles while they're up there as well. Just get those early two picks and then try and bait Moth in for a resurrection and get him afterwards.
I love this pick on Corey, by the way. He's put over to the Hanzo instead. Normally good for breaking shields, but double shield doesn't really affect it that much.
They got what they need.
Flux up in the air. Arna instantly goes down. Same with Corey. And win this initial fight here, and this is going to be really, really good for France. They can set up around this payload if necessary, or at least just take a priority position here. A little bit of a stagger out there for Super, but he does jump off the edge in the end. And in fact, like I said, take a priority position. Look at this, straight up against the spawn doors.
He could be overrun here potentially. Tech 36 needs to try and help him out, but while he's helping out Chubbs, he isn't there for Sue. We can't see Chubbs go this far forward when they need that double shield to be focused around their Bastion.
That was a really nice wall there. Now they can try and deal with Corey or at least force him away. He actually gets nanoed there instantly to save his life, and he was Wraith walking at the time as well, so wasted nano completely there from US. Supercharger getting popped down as well. Soon gets jumped across the map. Now he's in no man's land. Oh, Super handily dealing with him. But the rest of France are going to corral around that window to give themselves additional damage. Space gets frozen up on the payload, and Leaf takes him out in the end. So US still need to set up here. It was a perfect pick actually onto Soon there, but the problem was the rest of France already bundled on the front line.
Leaf with the walls there also doing great. Now you can see Chubbs, Tech 36, they're looking to try and check any incoming DPS. It's a very aggressive teleport there from Corey. He's already used his Wraith Walk. They can try and pick him off now.
Flux coming up. There's the Blizzard from Leaf. Also, fight after fight after fight now. France are making their stand on third point. Tech 36 going pretty low. Space that it was literally a melee duel at that point.
And Tech 36 is coming awake on this Sigma Jaws. He and Space are now dueling out pretty evenly. He's almost got ready again for Gravitic Flux, and look at Moth, 30% of the way towards that Sandbar. It's not going to be there to try and mitigate the damage, and last time we saw Gravitic Flux come through from Tech 36, it was very effective. This time the US are going to be a little bit more hardy.
Well, Flux is available rather soon for Tech 36. He's going to survive for the time being, but he is going to get frozen up. Issue is now, Immortality Field is going to go down. Raucus has the nano as well. Sinatra is going to fall, so now Soon can get into a better position, but no, Moth with the assassination on the air. What was that? Okay, Moth just basically 1v1ing Soon, running ring around the rosy around him. Corey now moving forward, is going to get fluxed up into the air, but using that Death Blossom up high. Tech 36 is going to go down. Leaf is going to follow as well. Only hip on the payload now to try and stall out for some more time, but US, they got 60 seconds remaining, but France need to now touch the payload to stop it from going to OT.
Corey could be vulnerable here. He can be picked off. No one can really touch the payload there. You're going to come in on the Diva? No, you're not. You slept.
Nice.
How do you even sleep a mech?
I don't even
Just
know.
shut it down.
No, you sleep.
Boy downloaded some dodgy stuff.
Viruses.
Yeah, he's got loads of viruses.
Bad things.
He needs my man of Vast over there to clean up his PC.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ask for any help, ever. Especially when it comes to technical things.
Yeah, if you want technical help, go to Sideshow.
Yeah. Bit of a wizard with computers, Sideshow.
Yes.
Was literally reconfigurating the motherboard before we were going live, so you can thank him for that.
He was in the mainframe.
He was. France now on the offense. USA have got quite a nice time bank, to be fair, on Havana.
It's not Nimbani tier, but for Rialto, you can consider any completion to really be a fantastic offense because it's a very defensively favored map. People haven't really figured out for rotations that they really like to take yet, so quite easy to defend. France now going to have to get out of their spawn. This is going to be the main sticking point. I imagine we may see the US just hold incredibly aggressively. You try and get in people's heads, you try and tilt people, you try and make the mental boom occur, you want to set off that stick of dynamite in someone's cranium. Make sure their comms are scattered. Their ideas of how they're going to try and break out of this spawn are scattered. People will try and strike out on their own, make hero plays, get in their head by holding aggressively. That's what you can do.
Same sort of defense here from the US. Can't imagine we can see any diversion from these comps, but they're holding the high ground this time around. France did hold low. Benefit for holding up high, though. You can obviously drop on people, and the only real issue is you get rotated on a little bit easier.
And you give up a lot of cart space for free. Someone can just crouch on the back of that van. They will have a physical cover. You have to get halted out, and when you're investing that halt, it can be a little bit harder to try and stymie some rotations that are coming in. And you can see the Leaf. Here's the allocated cart pusher. Soon with the rest of his team, just going to be moving out of here. They're very close to physical cover.
I think it's the worst thing in the world, though, having the one person on the cart. You're basically fighting 5v6 if you're the US. Oh, soon going so low. Immortality field coming out rather early. Moth hasn't burnt his just yet. There's someone on the sidelines. It's Sinatra. He's going to be able to roll away. That payload is now moving up. Nice little snipe, though, from Soon. Sinatra's going to get taken out. We'll just try and stop Leaf there from going on the payload. Beautiful bio grenade, though. No, FD God Immortality field to save you now, unfortunately. Tech 36 using the grass, but now Chubbs is sleeping on the job. He's going so low, and the rest of the US now can kind of control this payload and have a way better spot. But Soon taking out Moth and sending the honor so low as well. Raucus is going to have to be so careful. It's a really good attack from France now as they do move this payload forward. US have died so staggered as well, which does mean, Harry, they're not going to be able to recoup as 6 as quickly.
And that was all down to a risky play from Sinatra, Jaws. He came out, tried to get a little bit of a freeze. Leaf hit him with a headshot, Soon hit him with a couple of snipes as well. He wasn't quick enough to bring out the ice block, did not expect so much burst damage. And then US are forced to go down to get aggressive to try and take that 5v6 with the onus on them. Hip could be in trouble here. Misses his sleep dart. Now he has to get away. Corey's going to be in.
He's going to be okay. No, please hit your shots. Corey's going to kill you.
Get away. Get some help.
Nailed himself. Uh-oh, and he wasn't paying attention to Leaf, so he ends up going down. There is going to be the Nano coming out on the Bastion, but the US can just play behind cover now. Oh, okay, maybe not. There's the halt. There's the kills. Easy peasy. Super and Space end up going down, but they still need to duel out here with Sinatra, who has got Blizzard available.
I like this wall right here. Soon is put to sleep, even if he does have a shield coming through from Tech 36. Corey's asleep while the nano boost is applied. No usage from that.
Oh, Tech 36. That looked like he was going to eat that, man. That would have been the perfect play, but it didn't end up working out. Hip trying to keep Soon alive.
Hip's doing
For
well.
the moment, he's doing a good job, but Sinatra gets the double freeze, but it didn't matter. Soon with a snipe cross map as well. Takes out Moth. And that should be the push pretty much over now. France is going to be able to cap first.
Hip very much the hero here. Just being able to free heal from his perch, keeping everyone who's frozen alive. Huge healing throughput. And France will claim their first point, Jaws, of the series. This is a great start for them. They can try and bring themselves back into this. United States going to have to find themselves a new position. Are they going to be aggressive here, or are they going to wait for France to move into the crosshairs of Corey and Sinatra? They have the onus to be aggressive. They have the shadow step from Corey. They can make sure that Soon isn't in the place he wants to be.
Put that wall up to gain a little bit of space. It gets instantly destroyed by the cart, though. That's not exactly what they were thinking would happen. Soon and Leaf combining together. Leaf throwing out the Blizzard, and then it's just a... What's that carnival game where you shoot ducks?
Duck hunt?
Sure. It's one of those. It's a duck hunt for Soon.
Or skeet shooting?
Skeet shooting, yes, that's it.
There we go. By our powers combined, we have figured out a carnival game.
Thank goodness. I've not been to Carnival in a long time.
Really
Luckily, I'm kind of watching one right here.
This is a really nifty area right here for Soon. It's going to be very easy to aggress onto Chubbs right here. You can force out the Fortify. If you use it too early, the rest of the United States is going to be moving.
Look at this big rotation. Yeah, Space is going to have flux as well. Tech 36 is going to have to be careful. Doesn't get hit with the accretion.
Fortify.
And there is Corey on the sidelines. Tech 36 in a horrible position now where he has to basically look two ways. Flux is going to come through. Super gets hit with a bio grenade, so he should be living to tell the tale. No beat was necessary for Moth. That does mean he's going to have it for this next up-and-coming fight. And Corey, meanwhile, was on the side, killing off Hip. One healer now only available for France. They're going to have to make something work rather quickly. Tech ends up going down, and Corey just free space in the backline to do what basically ever he wants. And France are going to get held for the time being.
We need to see more coordination there from France. Jaws Tech 36 got 4 people up in the air. Super didn't have Fortify. He had about 100 health, but the shots weren't there to try and take him down. And because Super managed to survive that, put down the shield, and then they've got that safe space away from Soon where they can try and survive this. France is going to swap everything up now. We're over to the Doomfist, we're over to the Reaper. Leaf can't engage though, he's been stunned.
Ooh, that was close. Seismic Slam back up into the high ground for Leaf's going to get frozen up if he's not careful. Does look down to avoid the headshot, but Sinatra overextended. Got covered by FD God, and now France moving up onto the payload. But Soon now overextended too. What are you doing? Soon, you got to stay alive, bro. Now the only person that's going to do damage is Leaf, but they got to deal with Sinatra and Corey. The beat just slows them forward. The Death Blossom there is for the damage, and the US are going to win yet another fight and have ults to spare as well.
France have got to start thinking about their long game plan right here, George. They've only got 1 minute and 45 seconds left. They only need to win one fight. Do they want to take this next one going Supercharger versus Supercharger when they know there's a Blizzard on the field, or are you going to give up this next fight? You only need to win one. You could give up this fight, make sure that they use the Blizzard, make sure that they use that Supercharger.
That was aggro. You got to be careful now. Sinatra popping in the block. There's the Supercharger going down. Leaf already falls. Sinatra's got the Blizzard to back him up, to be fair. Maybe this is an overstep from France.
What a
that
yeet.
Big yeet. But what is this? How did FD Eagle get a double kill with a boop? I don't know how that happened. What? Super now just corralling the rest of France into a small corner so Sinatra can bully them for their lunch money. And now France in a situation where they got one more fight to play. 1 minute remains and they're still engaging in this one. Space using the Flux high in the sky, but now Super's in trouble. Leaf eventually takes him out, but Hip gets traded forward. Space dodging out. Quick feet work does get him inside before that Flux comes up from Tech 36 and he ends up going down. Nano on Sinatra too. This could be all over. France have one more fight, otherwise they're going out 3-0.
Raucus has been free healing for the last minute. He's got so much done, Jaws, and he put the Nano onto Sinatra, who's now very aggressive. Needs to get away. Soon's in the back line. He's probably still has his ray. Oh, the headshot with the boop.
The boop. I don't know about that one, Moth, man. Whoops and daisy. Well, there it is. They eventually win a fight. We
Chubbs
got it.
just fragging out,
Chubbs is
bro.
on the payload. They need to be able to touch and need to be able to get this next point. US could potentially get back in here as 6 and defend. That was so aggressive from US. They were playing up to France's spawn. I've not seen that on Havana before.
They're going to have both of their offensive ults here to try and clear France off, Jaws. Soon needs to strike first. He needs to strike well. He needs to make sure that there's no kinetic grasp, and he's already so low. He chooses this Wraith Walk.
He's behind people now, just wants to make sure he can check them. Corey gets taken out instantly when he's using the
Blizzard's
Death
up.
Blossom. Beautiful boot there from onto Soon to push him away. He's teleporting away, but the Blizzard was too good.
Three frozen.
Super now chewing the head off of Chubbs. The Supercharger's going to come out as well, and France are in dire straits. There's going to be a Supercharger out, but they need to be able to destroy it. Corey on the Tracer to get back in time, and the Fluxual Space going to send everybody sky high. This is going to be it if they're not careful. Hip's the only healer alive for France now as Space takes control of the game. This is it. USA are going to take the series 3-0.
That is Space looking absolutely fantastic on the Sigma. We didn't see too much from him in the playoffs, of course. He was on LA Valiant, moving now over to the LA Gladiators. Evidently, he's been grinding on this Sigma. What I really loved was he was floating up after using his Gravitic Flux in that fight outside when we saw NA, or USA rather, get incredibly aggressive. And he managed to hit himself with a Christian onto Hip, got the double Hypersphere, got rid of the healer that was being so troublesome, keeping France in that fight, got rid of them. It was fantastic from Space. I cannot sing his praises enough throughout this particular match.
Newcomers versus the old guard in terms of how much ridiculous experience and ridiculous achievements coming out from US. It was always going to be an upward hill battle for Team France, but taking it 3-0 is such a good start. They're going to be in high spirits going later on today. France facing up against the UK a little bit later on. Round number 2, though, on this stream is going to be China versus the Netherlands.
You can stick right with us. It's going to be a very interesting one. Going to be seeing a lot of the Chengdu Hunters, of course, representing China with a couple of additions from here and there. Gu Shui, of course, going to be returning. A large fan base for him was generated in our previous World Cup Jaws when he came out for Team China and basically was instantly recruited for the Hangzhou Spark once everyone saw just how good he was. Netherlands, these guys are a dark horse. No one really expected it they'd get this far into the group stage, taking out Finland, who everyone thought, okay, there's basically 3 generations of Giganta here, a lot of Overwatch League players. Meanwhile, on the side of Netherlands, not really much Overwatch League talent at all.
They've got to make their name here like France did try earlier on. We'll see how they get on a little bit later as well. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. We got China versus the Netherlands after this small break.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Il arrive pour le deuxième point, mais ils peuvent encore passer. C'est fait! Le double kill à domicile!
Last 2 years, represent France is a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in the US or in Korea, it wasn't in France.
Unbelievable!
3 now for Soon!
It's not representing a team, it's representing a nation, and there's a ton of people watching you because they are French and they want us to win.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.